So hi everyone,
Okay, wow.
thank you very much for having us. We'll do quick intros and we'll jump straight in. I'm Eyal Mallinger, I'm an investment director at Berengia. Berengia is a UK and US based VC fund. In the UK we manage 270 million pounds. We invest typically Series A, B, C, check sizes of 3 to 7 million pounds. We've invested in Festicat about a year ago. Matt, my guest, is the CFO and a board member of Festicat. Matt led Festicat's $15 million round last year. He also led Festicat's recent acquisition of Ticket Arena and Event Genius. And of particular interest today, before Festicat, Matt was running Channel 4's, which is the UK TV channel, venture capital arm. So he has both buy side and operational experience, experience. So maybe just, Matt, in a few words, do you want to tell us what Festicat does, a few numbers, so we get a feeling of what is Festicat?
Yeah, of course. So firstly, thanks for having me. It's great to be in Madrid. I think in terms of what Festicat does, for those of you who don't know, we're a B2C marketplace that allows users to come and discover new events, new music festivals, and then complete the whole booking experience on our platform, including tickets, travel, accommodation, and extras that make their experience complete. In terms of scale and size, we've got 6 international offices. This year, we're expected to do around 90 million GMV of bookings in terms of euros. To give you a sense in the number of transactions, in September we completed over 100,000 orders. So we're at the stage now where we're going through that we're kind of past the startup stage, and with the help of our investors like Berengia, we're moving now to scale up and taking our services a little bit more global.
Right, thanks, Matt. So just a bit about the experience economy. Who here has heard the term the experience economy? Okay, a few. Who here has been to a festival in the past 12 months? Quite a few. Who here has been to a live music event in the past few months? Okay, so 50%. So the way I think about the experience economy is the following. I grew up, showing my age, in the 80s and the 90s, and when I had a bit of free money to do something, I'll go and I buy a CD to hear music, I'll go and buy a DVD to see a movie or a series, I'll go and buy a computer game on a CD or floppy disks to consume the game. However, if someone today is 17 or 18 and they have some free money, they want to hear music, they have a Spotify subscription. They want to see a movie, they go on Netflix. They want to play a computer game, they can subscribe and play or may play for free. And so there's a lot more free money to go around to do things, but actually people are not valuing buying stuff as much as they used to. People are valuing much more experiences because they can. The other thing and trend we see in the experience economy is Instagram. Because people's lives are now pretty much all of them in Instagram, social life, see me, see where I am, see what I'm doing, the experience is becoming very important, right? I want to show people I'm eating at this restaurant, I want to show people I'm at this live music festival, I want to show people I'm this wonderful vacation. Clearly, if I can afford a Lamborghini, I can show, hey, here I am with my Lamborghini. But for most people, Instagram is a way to show people what they're experiencing. Thirdly, because of social networks and because of the devices that about 25% of you are holding and playing with right now, our experiences of talking and interacting with people have diminished. And so actually going out and having a real experience, whatever it is, be it a music festival, be it going to a restaurant, doing some immersive theater, becomes more and more important because we are much more disconnected from other human beings on a daily basis than we used to be. So we see the experience economy as a very, very promising trend going forward. So maybe you want to talk to us a bit about what are the opportunities for the experience economy in the music industry?
Yeah, okay. So to give everyone a sense of context here, so globally, the annual ticket sales for live music events, including festivals, is estimated to be around a 25 billion market. So that's just purely on tickets. So we're already in the stage where this is a massive industry. I think the really interesting thing for us at Festicat is, as I explained, our business model is to firstly sell the ticket, and the ticket's interesting, but we see the ticket as the hook, and actually we want to sell everything around the experience. And what we're seeing is that music tourism is really growing fast. So in the UK alone, we get over 1 million music tourists coming to visit, and what the interesting fact is that when people come as a tourist to experience a music event, they spend 4 times more than the ticket value. So really our total market that we're addressing is 4 times that annual ticketing number. So I think that's a really interesting trend we're seeing.
Do you want to speak about Spain as well a little bit? Because we see a lot of trends there, right?
Yeah, exactly. So Spain's a really important market for us. Spanish music tourists have grown by over 400% in the last 2 years. So we're seeing a boom here. Some of our most successful festivals, Sonar, Primavera, Fib, we see some really good destination events, as we call them, where there's a huge amount of international travelers coming to Spain to experience festivals here locally.
The weather is great, so why not? Is this only a millennial thing? Is it only sort of people in their early 20s and late 20s?
Yeah, good question. I mean, the short answer is no. There's an estimated 30 million people who attend music festivals a year. When you look at studies with the likes of Deloitte, they estimate that around 50% of those are millennials. Live Nation released a lot of data around the people who attend live music more generally, and they estimate that 2/3 of people between the age of 13 and 49 attend a live music event each year. So you can see from those stats that it's millennial heavy, but there's a much, much broader market, and we see that really developing with some of the festivals that we sell very well for on our platform. Personally, I've got 2 young kids, 5 and 6-year-old boys. This summer I went to an event called Glowworm, which was in Nottingham in the UK, and that event was totally centered around that age 5 to 10. It was sponsored by Playmobil, a toy manufacturer. There was loads of interactive things for the kids to do, and it just shows that it's branching out and attracting an earlier audience and a later audience, and it's not just about the millennial-focused audience that you might first think of.
Yeah, I think we're talking before, we see growth in opera festivals, so people going to listen to opera, rock festivals, which tend to have an older demographic, also having a massive resurgence because it is a great way to experience music. What is so special about festivals then?
Yeah, so I think it goes back to that emotional connection that you were speaking about at the start. I think what we see is that people book a festival to have enjoy time with their friends, to celebrate a milestone, to almost like a coming of age with a lot of people. It's that experience that they book and look forward to in advance. It's all the emotional connections that are around it that we think drive audiences' engagement with festivals.
Yeah, again, my feeling and part of our investment thesis was that a festival, in the end, if you look at 1 year, it will probably be the highlight of your year. Of the top 3 things, the best thing I've done this year was, go to this festival. It's a culmination of a lot of things. It's 2 or 3, usually very happy day, unless you're into Fire Festival and then you're in trouble. So maybe talking about Fest Ticket, so what it is that you do that is so special?
Yeah, so I think the way that I look at Fest Ticket is across 3 different parts to our business. So on the first one is we're a content platform, so a content and discovery platform, and we pride ourselves, and it's in the DNA of the company when it was first founded, is that if you want to attend a music event or a live event of any type, you can come to Fest Ticket, and we can help you make that choice. So we've got guides talking about the festival's artist lineup, location, giving you much more information about the festival for thousands and thousands of festivals on our platform. We've got some pretty cool technology that we've developed around trying to help you make the choice based on your music preferences. So you can log on to our platform, you can put in your Spotify details, it will look at your the artists that you follow on Spotify, and then we will recommend you festivals where your top artists are playing that then you can transact through the e-commerce platform. So we're always trying to innovate and try and be a real strong consumer brand and help people discover. On the second pillar, we are an e-commerce platform. So we've invested heavily in the technology to allow people to facilitate the transaction on our e-commerce platform. And crucially, what you can do is you can buy the ticket, and as I mentioned earlier, you can then build up your package and choose from one of our 5,000 accommodation suppliers to build up everything you need for the event in one place and transact on our platform. On the third pillar, we have recently made an acquisition, and we have essentially purchased what we see as the best in market B2B technology. So now we can work with the festivals themselves and the suppliers and offer them dashboards, cashless technology. We can offer them help on the ground with the scanning at the event and really give it that full suite. So we see ourselves as really a complete B2C to B offering.
And what are the big opportunities in the market for FestTicket you see going forward?
Yeah, good question. I think we've got loads of opportunity within the genre that we're operating. So if you think about festivals, 95% of our inventory at the minute are music festivals, but there's huge amounts of other types of festivals there that our technology can serve, such as food festivals, wine festivals, all sorts of different things, and it's a natural next extension for us. Geographically, I mentioned our new offices that we've launched around the world. We're only really scratching the surface in some territories. So we set up our San Francisco office this year, and we think that's a really interesting market for us, as is APAC, which we've got some events on, and they're selling really well. But we think that taking our model and replicating that in some other territories would deliver some immediate growth.
And what's in it for festivals? Again, I know that Coachella is working with us. So why would a big organization like Coachella choose to work with a European startup or scale up?
Yeah, so I think there's kind of two categories of festivals that I kind of look at when I think about the festival benefits. So as Eyal mentioned, we're the exclusive international ticketing and travel partner for Coachella in the US. We've worked with them for the last couple of years, but in the current capacity, only since they launched their 2020 event back in June. Coachella work with us because they can see themselves selling more travel packages, so increasing their revenue streams. But also, even though Coachella's a brand, they still want to attract more international audience, because international people spend more when they're on site, and it helps their brand. So for Coachella, we've actually sold tickets to consumers in over 50 countries in the first couple of months since launch. So we've got that international reach that we can help them with a pain point that they have. On the flip side, we work probably about 85-90% of our inventory is with what we call long tail festivals. So these are festivals that don't sell out, they're not as big brands, and our marketing firepower can really help them sell tickets, incremental tickets for their event. And we use our CRM systems, our audience. We've got 3 million registered users that we can market to and speak to, and we use that power to be able to sell more tickets, basically, for the long tail events.
Excellent. Maybe now going back to the big picture, experience economy, and back to your experience as an investor, what are the opportunities you see in the wider market?
Yeah, so one of the things I think is really interesting is how you take that experience and then extend that experience beyond the actual event itself. So, one thing we were talking about earlier is how do you capture what you feel on that day and then be able to enjoy it or get reminded of what you feel into the future. And I think photos is one way that's quite interesting, but I also think there's new stuff to be developed. So that experience and the benefit you get from it becomes a much longer and more wide ranging impact.
Yeah. I guess one of the trends we see and I think a lot about is the move towards face-to-face, towards analog thing you can touch and feel. And we see this massive resurgence in old stuff that, again, it's half nostalgic, but half part of this yearning. So if you think vinyl has been having incredible sales years, vinyl is selling almost as much as CDs these days. If you look at film photography, huge growth. A lot of people are actually going back to shooting film because they like the, I only have 30 shots to shoot and each of them has to be good, rather than shooting 20,000 photos in one vacation and then go and find the right ones. And so we see this sort of paper, people want to write, people want to have notebooks. So we think overall there's this, the pendulum is shifting sort of digital, analog, and I think we're now sort of, we peaked on this side and moving backward, and sort of festivals and music and experiencing music face-to-face is part of that. So thank you very much, Matt,
cool.
And thank you for listening to us.
Thank you.
Hey, wow. You still have